This is the Cube SUV SL. It's the top of the line SUV model, and it's got this really interesting NuVinci H Sync sort of continuously variable, electronically shifted transmission back here, along with the Gates carbon drive. This is the CDX, so it's got that nice like center line that keeps it from kind of sliding from side to side. And of course, the Bosch Centerdrive system. So really top of the line stuff all the way across. It's relatively lightweight. It's about 47 pounds. I weighed it earlier, and also weighed the battery. It's about 5.3 pounds. So you're working with a bike that keeps all of the weight, well, most of the weight. I guess the continuously variable transmission adds some, but most of it's right there in the center, really low. It kind of matches this nice sort of semi-gloss satin, sort of a black, maybe more like a gray, kind of a charcoal. Really cool looking bike, great for city riding. There's no suspension, but this is a carbon fiber fork, so that helps to dampen some of the vibration, keeps it light. So really cool. Part of the reason that this one might be so light is that it's the small. It comes in 3 sizes. There's 16, 18, and 20. So kind of a good range here. And the price on this is $47.99. So it's a little bit more expensive, but part of that's, most of that's because of this fancy drive system. They do have sort of like a pro version with a chain and everything. But it's awesome to get to see sort of the brand new state-of-the-industry technology on such a purpose-built bike. So Cube is sort of a European brand. I'm here in Canada, actually, near Vancouver, like testing this thing out. And it's been a popular bike for people who are getting around the city, maybe commuting or something like that, because the Bosch system is extremely efficient. It's going to go really, really far. It's relatively responsive. It's quick. I love all of that. And given that there isn't suspension or anything, I like that they've chosen these Schwalbe Super Moto-X tires. So these are 27.5 by 2.4. So extra fat. And you can kind of lower the air pressure. It gives it a little bit more of a cushy feel when you're cruising along, and that's what I do. I mean, it's a very like solid, fluid feeling bike, but if you pump those up really, really high, you get a lot of efficiency. But it's like, whoa, it's more like a race car is how this thing feels at moments. So nice FSA cranks, sort of aluminum alloy platform pedals, good stuff there. We've got this 30.9 millimeter seat post, and this is another opportunity for you to kind of soften up the ride if you want to put one of those Suntour NCX suspension seat posts, a body float, thud buster, something like that. Interesting saddle here, kind of a cool urban design, Rock City. Got a nice like cube stem here, almost like a flat bar, maybe super low rise. Decent grips. They're sort of curved. Call it natural fit, and they do feel pretty nice. So the biggest thing I've noticed about the cockpit area of this bike is that it's just so empty, almost like you really only control this bike using the Bosch Intuvia button pad over here, and I'll get to that in a little bit. But it's weird not having shifters. I'm so used to having like mechanical just activators and stuff, and it's over here it's all electronic, so that's very interesting. We've got Shimano hydraulic disc brakes right here, 180 millimeter rotor in the front and 160 in the rear right there, so good stopping power. They don't have motor inhibitors, and that's because the Bosch system is so responsive. This thing is measuring your cadence, your pedaling torque, and your wheel speed. I got the magnet over here with the little sensor, and it's measuring those different signals about 1,000 times per second. So super fast. It's on, it's off, like immediately as you pedal. So that's great, and it just keeps it clean up here. You'll notice there aren't a whole lot of wires. We're starting to get closer and closer to like it almost just will look like a bicycle, and you'll just have this extra technology built in, but in a way you don't even see. So I love that. Maybe it's time to hop into the motor specs here. So this is a Centerdrive system. It's kind of a geared, and you do hear a little bit of a whining noise when you pedal. You'll notice that the chainring is a little bit smaller, and so this actually spins about 2 times as fast as you pedal, and that gives it a really quick start and stop. It also gives it some it's a little bit more power oriented. So if it was spinning a bigger disc, like it would be a little bit slower. And this one, it can spin quickly, and that gives you some torque, which I love. And there's the There's the kind of the cog in the back. There's the NuVinci. You can't really see inside this box, but what it's doing is actually measuring your cadence, and that's what you get to select with the display panel up here. So again, no real gears, but there's sort of a slide, and a continuously variable transmission means that you have kind of infinite gears or pedal speeds that you can go at. I haven't had a whole lot of experience with this version, the H Sync, but I have seen the mechanical versions, and they're pretty cool. They're very smooth. It allows you to kind of shift at standstill. This one, I suppose, does the same thing, but it's electronic, so it's kind of doing it for you. Again, we'll kind of demo that later. This is the PowerPack 400, 36 volt, 11 amp hour. It's actually 396 watt hours. Relatively lightweight. It's kind of nice looking. Got the decals going on here. You can, let's see, there's a nice little LED power level indicator on the side, which I like. And then there's the, let's see, the key. Kind of put this in here and just sort of pops off. Easy to carry around because it's got that little hole. Yeah, nice stuff. Of course, you can charge it on or off the frame, which is great if you are a commuter and you want to bring it into the office and, you know, top it off. There we go. And then that battery pack is powering this Intuvia display and optional lights. So you can sort of wire in lights. You might have to work with your local shop. I'm here at Sit E-Cycles in Surrey. They also have a new shop opening in Vancouver. So, you know, these guys are pretty good at customizing. And I did notice that you've got kind of these chain stay, or actually seat stay threaded holes. And then right here, this little crossbar. So you could maybe add fenders back there and, you know, a rack, but not up front because it is a carbon fork. I don't see anywhere to attach fenders. You might be able to like zip tie them or something, but kind of keep that in mind. I know it rains around here a lot, and that's a little bit of a drawback. So the display panel is really great. You can swivel it forward and backwards. It's removable like that. Another great way to sort of protect it against weather or vandalism. It's nice that you can take the battery and the display panel off. When you're ready to turn it on, you just press the power button right there. And then you've got several sort of readouts. You can navigate through them with the eye over here or over here. This includes trip distance, clock, max speed, average speed, trip time, range, odometer. I like range because it actually approximates how far you can go based on how much battery capacity is remaining. That's one of the big highlights for me of this system, and it's pretty accurate. So there are 4 levels of assist. You go from off up to, let's see here, whoops. Oh, I'm gonna have to switch over to, there we go. Off to eco, to tour, to sport, to turbo. And the reason I said oops there is because this kind of interface, because of the NuVinci system, has that one extra sort of setting. It's the NuVinci cadence setting down here. I don't know if you can see that. There it is. Okay. And that lets you choose your pedal cadence. So right now it's at 62. If you arrow up, you can get a higher cadence and your feet will be pedaling faster. If you arrow down, it's going to be slower and smoother. So you really have 2 choices here, 2 settings for riding this bike. The power level, again, those 4 levels we were talking about, and then your cadence. And it's a little funky because I'm used to arrowing up for more speed, and in cadence here, you arrow up and it actually gives you like a faster pedal rotation. It's a new paradigm. It's a new way of thinking. You're really talking about how fast you want to pedal, and I guess that's true of gears too. But it's interesting to be doing that with a button pad. I like how close it is to the grip. I like that it's kind of got a tactile click. You can hear it. You don't even need to really look down, but if you do, the display is real big and center, and it is backlit. There's like this light button here. Again, that would power the lights if they were somehow integrated into this system. So I think that's a great verbal overview. I'm just going to hop on now and try to demonstrate the whole cadence sensing bit. So I'm going to start out pedaling, and we'll get going faster and just watch the cadence, and it's going to kind of stay the same. Shifting itself back there, which is pretty cool. Look at that. Up to about 30 kilometers per hour here, and I didn't have to do anything. And then if I slow down, just keep pedaling, my cadence is still really comfortable. So I could just completely focus on riding the bike, you know, looking at the scenery, keeping an eye out for cars, and the system just, it does itself. That's so cool. It's very cool. And yeah, I feel like the 60 is about right for me. I've only had limited time with this bike cruising around, but it's a lot of fun. Really impressive technology. That once you get to that top speed, sort of electronically limited top speed where the motor's no longer helping, your cadence does change, because now you're actually inputting power directly to the bike. You're not getting assist. So it goes from potentially a high cadence, like, you know, spinning, to kind of a slower cadence, because you're actually, you've kind of got a mechanical limitation. And that's not a bad thing. It's just sort of interesting to notice that when you get to that top level, you're just like, oh, okay, I'm at the top. So, cool. Cool. Well, that is the Cube SUV SL, top of the line, brand new technology from NuVinci and Bosch. For the full write-up on this and other Cube bikes, I'll see you back at ElectricBikeReview.com.